Hi, it's Pete here again. Today we are looking at our old friend, the scoring board and trimmer, and it's all about Christmas. Probably tell from the jumper. So we're going to be making something like this wonderful box. Now, it could be purely decorative, or you can actually fill these with candies or whatever you choose for your Christmas table. This is just one of many functions. Now, we are going to be working in inches today. Normally, I work in centimeters, obviously here in Europe, but today is all about inches. And how can you convert this wonderful tool to inches? It is so simple. So all I do, this base, this is in centimeters at the moment, and I'm going to slide that out, flip it over, and now we find ourselves in inches, but obviously the measuring tool is in centimeters. So let me just slide that out, flip it over, snap it back into place, and suddenly we're working in inches. That's how easy it is to flip between the two. Now, a lot of tutorials online are in inches, some are in centimeters. So this gives you the flexibility and the versatility to be able to switch between them like that. And of course, you're getting the accuracy. So we're going to show how to make one of these boxes and then how we put it all together. So let's get going. So today we're going to be working in both scoring mode and trimming mode. Of course, there are so many other functions with this. You can work in envelope mode to create your envelopes or your tags or your bunting as well. But today is all about the boxes. So I'm going to take some silver cut. The reason I'm using this cut is because it really shows up well on camera. Now, the base, the bottom box of this is 4 inches wide, and the sides are 1 inch. So that means I need a 6-inch square. And if you need to work out the sizes, incidentally, then we have, if you go to the Scoring Board and Trimmer Hub on the Sizzix website, we have an online generator, and you just put in the dimensions of the box you need, and it will tell you the size of the cardstock that you need to start with. But I know that that is 4 inches wide, and each side is 1 inch, which means 6 inches. So I'm going to place this into the tool, and I'm lining up with the 6-inch mark there. Now, to get a really good cut, it's important that we put our hand on this strip here. That anchors it in place. So it's up against the measuring tool. That is in place, and we simply bring this down like so. And that means you get a lovely, clean cut. Then I flip that. Again, I line up with the 6-inch mark here. Press my finger down there and just go back the other way. So that is now going to be the lid of my box. Now the base is going to be the same dimensions, but obviously it's hard to get them together. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the next one, but slightly smaller. Okay, so just under 6 inches this time. So there we are. This is going to be 5 15/16, or it could be 7/8. It doesn't really matter. It depends on the thickness of the material you're working with, but just under the 6-inch mark. I'm lucky to be of a generation that works in both inches and centimeters. I can flip between the two. So there we are. So this second piece, if I put this over the top of that, you will note that it's slightly smaller. So when I come to put the lid and the base together, it's going to be a lovely snug fit. If they were the same size, we kind of have to force them together, and nobody wants to see that. So that's trimming mode. Let's turn this. This is our hub. You can hear it clicking. That is through 90 degrees. Now we are in scoring mode. And to score, I simply need to take out my fold and form tool. Wonderful little tool in its own right, this. Now, we said the sides are 1 inch, and I'm going to do 1-inch sides on both, even though one's slightly smaller. We're always going to, so I'm moving to the 1-inch mark, which is here, and I'm going to make my first score. Then flip it around, again, 1-inch mark, flip it around. So we'll keep going all the way around like that. We'll take the other piece, and again, so that's 4 times. That's it. Now, obviously, at this point, we need to make little tabs. So I'm going to put it back into trimming mode. So that's in place. And I want to line this up. This is the cutting channel here. So when I get this, now I want to make a cut from here to there. That's where my cut's going to be. So again, I'm holding that down in place and I'm bringing it so that this little mark here goes up to that line, and again there. I'm going to flip that around and I'm going to do the same on the other side. So now what we've done is we've created some lovely little tabs, as you can see there. So when I make my creases, they're going to line up perfectly when I come to make my box. Now, to make sure we have really nice, clean, deep creases, let me just take the scoring board away for a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my fold and form, and I'm going to use the curved edge. And I'm just going to run it down there like that. That means I'll get a really clean, really crisp, precise fold line. And this goes whether you're doing cards, whether you're doing envelopes or boxes, or bags indeed. So always use the tool to just finish off the crease like that. And you can see that it gives you absolutely pin sharp corners. Wow, that's so cool. Now I've put these together for you. This is the base and the lid, which we cut earlier from the red card. It just, with the silver card, it's kind of easier to see. So this is what happens when you come to put them together. Because one is slightly smaller than the other, you get a lovely snug fit like that. Now this one, now what I've done to build this up, actually, each box I reduced in size by 3/4 of an inch. The sides are still 1 inch, but the top of the box is 3/4. So whereas this was 4 inches, this is now 3 1/4. So, and I did the same with that one. So that's 2.5 inches, and so on and so forth. And that's how we build them up. We just reduce them in size by 3/4 of an inch. It's entirely up to you, because the incremental differences depend on how tall and how wide the tree is, or the stack of boxes indeed. Now the final box, this one has slightly longer sides. These are 1.5 inches, and that is how this sits on there. Like that. Now, as I said, all of these boxes are functional. You can take the top off, you can put something into them, but it could be purely decorative, and you can finish it off with ribbon like this, as we see here. But I've also done some little boxes that go around the foot of that, for kind of just from the decorative perspective. And you probably notice the ribbon on that, and that's where the fold and form comes in. Because what I'm going to do, let me just show you something which is really cool. I'm going to take some white card, and I'm just going to trim a tiny thin strip from that. Again, make sure that's in place. So there's my lovely strip of white card, and what I'm going to do now is take my fold and form. And you're probably wondering what this bit here is, and rightly so. Well, this is if you've got large flower petals or anything, any kind of ribbons, you know, that you want to get this lovely crease in. You can just slide that down there, pull it through, and it's got lovely rolled edges. There's no sharp edges, so you're going to get a fantastic curl every single time without any of those horrible creases that we get sometimes. But there you go, and that is how I curled and created all the little bows. So that's a good little hack. So the fold and form, it's not just about creasing, it's not just about getting really deep creases, but we've also got this function as well. Really cool tool, and of course it slips seamlessly into your tool until the next time you need it. So when we're thinking about making festive boxes, bags, tags, envelopes, We want the right card, and Sizzix have just the thing, of course. Now this is our Festive range of cardstock, and you do get multiples of each color in the pack. It's got that lovely sort of linen pattern on the front, and this is kind of smooth. So you're getting 4 sheets of each in this pack, and it's a lovely way for construction for your base cards, for your envelopes, or indeed your boxes, as we've just seen. A great thing for envelopes and boxes is this is a range of Sizzix Festive pattern card. Now again, you do get multiples in the pack, but the great thing about it is it's double-sided. So if you're creating an envelope, for example, you know, and when you pull the flap over, it's going to be a contrasting colors. So the outside is going to be patterned, the inside is going to be plain, and they're just an absolutely gorgeous combination. Let me show you some boxes which I've made using some of that cardstock. Of course, it does kind of show some of the variety of colors, but also the sizes that you can use. So something that is nice and flat and slimline like that. So there's lots of variation. So you can see how having the right kind of cardstock really does pay off. And obviously tags, you know, we can create tags with this wonderful tool as well. And this not only shows a variety of shapes, but also sizes that we can create. Just really, really cool set. I love this cardstock, I really do. Now, another thing you can do, of course, if you have embossing folders, whether they be 2D or 3D or multi-level, you can do something like this. You can create these wonderful lids. So you can emboss the cardstock and then put it onto your tool and make the creases to create the lids for these great boxes. It's a lovely, imagine having a bespoke Christmas gift made using these gorgeous embossing folders. Then talking about materials, we've looked at the different card. Now we can use quite heavyweight cards. So if you go for a more minimalistic approach and you want that kind of rustic thing, this is a corrugated cardstock, which it's really quite thick and heavy. But you know what? You can crease it using this. You can cut it using this, and it makes the most wonderfully robust and rigid boxes. I love those, really strong, but just the thing about using this tool, one of the things I love is you get professional results. You know, it's not about homemade, these are handmade, these are really, really top notch. Just one last thing, I know I keep saying one last thing, don't I? But this, I had to bring this in because I love this set. This is Christmas Alphabet. And it is the designer Jen Ogborn. She I know how hard she worked on this, and it's just fantastic. These are the size of the letters, and you can see with each letter you get all the little decorative elements to go with it. So let me just show you a few things that have been created using that alphabet. This is something that our Jess made. It spells out the name Charlie, but you can see this is a candy cane. The H, house. A, angel. R, Rudolph or reindeer. L, lights. I, icicle. E, elf. Lovely little set, but yeah, you could create a gorgeous little box like that, something personalized. And that's the thing about Christmas, you know, you can go out and buy a stack of cards or a stack of boxes, that's fine. But we're makers, and we like to make things personal and bespoke, something that contains a gift or a sentiment to that person, and it really shows that you care when you go to the time and trouble. And this is why we do what we do. So there's a lovely little tag also using that but using the tool to create. And finally, how about this? So we got it all going on there. We got a mini card, we got a box, we got a tag, and just here's a couple more little cards done using the Christmas alphabet set. So now, I said one more thing, then I have got one more thing. This is the last thing, I promise you, but this is a showstopper. Now, this was made by my good friend and colleague, Debbie Farinella. It is a stack of boxes, but it's an advent calendar. And each one of these lids comes away. The way that she's put it together is so smart. It's so smart, but the individual little lids, they come away. So you can put your gifts or your surprises in there, and then it goes back on for the next day. It's a labor of love. It's absolutely gorgeous. Kudos to you, Deb. Of course, these are Sizzix alphabet letters. Naturally, this is one of the Sizzix framelits that's scalloped circles. It's a wonderful piece. It really is. And I think if my wife or daughter see this, I will be compelled to make one for home as well. So fingers crossed, eh? But there we have it. That's us. Christmas box making. Don't forget about the envelopes and the tags and the bunting, because with this tool, you can do it all. Cards as well. Who could forget? So thank you for joining me today. Remember, if you want to find out more about the scoring board and trimmer, and if you want to see also, we have a guide. Now, if you are unfamiliar with this, there are guides which take you through the nursery slopes of how to get to grips with this tool. So go to the Sizzix website, go to the Scoring Board and Trimmer Hub, and you will see all of those guides there, which will tell you about the online generator and so on and so forth, to be able to create the wonderful envelopes and boxes, some of which we've shown here today. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope your Christmas table looks as spectacular as I hope mine will in the coming months. My name's Pete. I'll see you again soon.